why did this happen in the first place? Why wasn't the train labeled as high hazardous? That means that a lot of people didn't know what was on the train in the first place. Why have we gotten into a position where we're having hundreds of train derailments every year in this country when we just spent $1 trillion on infrastructure? This stuff should be becoming less likely, not happening as frequently as it is.
That's a good question from Ohio Senator J.D. Vance on this program with me this week. A question surrounding the Ohio train derailment. The senator visiting East Palestine yesterday, posting a video on Twitter showing how the water is so polluted with toxins it's clear just by touching it. He's demanding Norfolk Southern finish the cleanup job as well. Meanwhile, residents are questioning the response of the federal government. Governor Mike DeWine writes this, in part, FEMA continues to tell Governor DeWine that Ohio is not eligible for assistance at this time. Joining me right now is one of the evacuated residents of East Palestine and a mother of 4. Chelsea Simpson is with us. Chelsea, thanks very much for being here. Can you tell, we're so sorry that this has happened in your town. Tell us about your experience and how you and your family are dealing with this.
It's definitely been tough, especially having, 4 kids displaced out of their home. We're just taking it day by day here, trying to decide how to go about our next move. The kids aren't taking it so well. They're asking every day, when can I go home? Why can't I go home? They don't understand what's going on. So that's tough. I mean, it's definitely taken a mental anguish on everyone. I'm sure the whole community is feeling it.
So tell me what you've experienced. What have you heard? What have you seen? And how close are you to the actual devastation? Were you? I know you're not there now.
We were a mile away. We were a mile away from it when it happened at our home, but now I'm about 5 miles away. I try to stay away as much as I can. I have made a few trips to the house to grab some things. And just in those few trips, I've had symptoms of like a rash, sore throat, headaches, all the above. So I don't really feel comfortable taking my kids back in that environment at this time.
So the kids did have symptoms then? How soon after the derailment did you notice symptoms?
The 8-month-old, it was 2 days later. He had a lot of respiratory issues and was wheezing very badly, so we had went to the urgent care. Along with, that's when I had symptoms of the sore throat, lots of congestion.
And what about your water? I know that you've been encouraged to drink bottled water, but showers and all of that, how did you deal with the potential for leakage in the water?
Well, since we're not at our home, I feel comfortable where we're at with the water, with bathing, but would I bathe my kid at my home in East Palestine? No, I would not. I do not feel comfortable. Even them saying the water is fine, I don't trust it. Especially a year from now.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean, a year from now?
I just feel like it's all going to settle into the soil. We don't know. There's so much unknown. We don't know what it's going to affect in the future.
Now, the governor is looking for help from FEMA, but FEMA won't help Ohio. And Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg seems to be minimizing this disaster. Here's what he said this week. Watch.
There's clearly more that needs to be done because while this horrible situation has gotten a particularly high amount of attention, there are roughly 1,000 cases a year of a train derailing.
Your reaction, Chelsea?
I just can't help but think, I feel like they're kind of trying to brush this under the rug. So since FEMA doesn't come in, it's like not holding Norfolk accountable for what they've done to our little town. This was a massive chemical spill, but we don't qualify for the help. Is that so you don't, bring more attention on our town and let everyone know how big of a deal this really is? Or I can't help but think they're just trying to hide something.
So were you given any guidance in terms of when it might be safe to return to your home? What are your longer-term plans?
They have said it's safe now once you had your water and your air tested and, get your house cleaned and all of that. But like I said, we don't really have a plan to go back at this point. We don't know what we're going to do next. Just because, like I said, the long-term effects of the air with our children, that, those chemicals could be cancer-causing agents. And in 10 years from now, I would have to live with that, knowing that one of my kids developed something I could have avoided.
Wow. Well, we are praying for you, Chelsea, and all of the residents of Palestine. Thanks very much for being here this morning.